Shalom Aleichem. Today I'm talking about a very interesting topic because many have asked me why do you don't eat animals or products of animals, because I say the word of YAHUAH is clearly, and today I'm talking about food laws. Food laws. Yes, because many don't think it is unimportant what we eat. But does the word of YAHUAH let this topic out? We will find it out. And yay! Me, I'm raw vegan, and I don't eat meat, I don't eat fish, I don't eat chicken, I don't eat whatever, no milk, no honey, no eggs, nothing what is even made of animals, and I don't wear clothes where things are made from animals. I wear vegan clothing. This, for example, is from hemp, and this is from cotton. I don't wear anything, nor cosmetic, nor whatever made of it. I eat fruits, I eat vegetable, I eat seeds, I eat nuts, I eat seaweed, I eat everything what is growing outside and how it grows. I never eat anything else, but what YAHUAH plant I eat, and why I will explain it. And before we start, we will read as usual a psalm. And many ask me what kind of Bible I use. This is what I use. Even well, actually my other Bibles are too much filled. This is what I use. For cross reading is okay, but don't trust only this, especially this one. Okay, but it is also written for people who may not completely understand English. I don't know where you are all from, so we start with a psalm. I read Psalms 95. Come, let us sing for the joy of YAHUAH. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before him with thanksgiving and exalt him with music and song. For YAHUAH is the great Elohim, the great King above all Elohim, all gods. There are many gods, but there is only one Elohim. He is YAHUAH. In his hands are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks belong to him. The sea is his, for he made it, and his hands formed the dry land. Come, let us bow down in worship. Let us kneel before YAHUAH our Maker, for he is our Elohim, and we are the people of his pasture, the flock under his care. Today only if you would hear his voice, do not hearken your hearts as you did at Meribah, as you did that the day as Massa in the wilderness, where your ancestors tested me. They tried me, though they had seen what I did. For 40 years I was angry with that generation. I said, these are people whose hearts go astray, and they have not known my ways. So I declared on an oath in my anger, they shall not enter my rest. It is a warning for you. Don't hearken your hearts. Don't hearken your hearts. Regarding it, we about a warning, even in a renewed covenant, we have in Hebrews 4. Hebrews 4. Because many don't believe that the old covenant is still important today. In 3 says at verse 7, so the Ruach HaKodesh says, today if you hear his voice, do not hearken your hearts as you did in the rebellion during the time of testing in the wilderness, where your ancestors tested and tried me. Now for 40 years they saw what I did. That is why I was angry with that generation. I said, their hearts are always going astray, and they have not known my ways. So I declare on an oath in my anger, they shall never enter into my rest. If you hear today his voice, don't hearken your heart, or you will end up like King Saul, Shaul, or Pharaoh. You know what happened. And do you want to end up like this, people? He said, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts as you did in the rebellion. If you break his commandments, you are in rebellion, and you harden your hearts. And that's the point where you commit the sin against the Ruach HaKodesh, and that's the only one sin that won't be forgiven. And that's a serious thing, because sin and YAHUAH never match together. His eyes are so poor that he cannot even look on sin. Habakkuk 1:13. Take it as a warning, because he won't ever let anyone enter into his kingdom who sins against him. And when you break the covenant, don't know their name, the covenant name, because the 10 words start with his name. And if that wouldn't be more important, he wouldn't even write his name in the first sentence of the covenant, even the first word. It has been the first word what he wrote. And that's the mark. He wants to inscribe his covenant on our hearts. So it means he wants to write his name on us. He wants to write his name on us. And now you still want to joke around with him, don't want to listen. It is up to you whom you want to believe in. And today I explain why I keep some things regarding food very strictly. Because you know what was said in James or Jacob, who breaks one commandment is guilty of all. And the Torah starts in Genesis 1:1. And I read Genesis 1 verse 11 to 12. Then Elohim said that the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit with seed in it, are taught according to their various kinds. And it was so. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kinds. And Elohim saw that it was good. This was the third day. And he said, with seeds, there are some plants, some fruits, some vegetables, which they offer us nowadays without seed. This is not from YAHUAH. This is not the DNA which He produced in the earth for us to eat. If you find something in the supermarket written on it without seed, don't take it. It causes more healthy issues than to swallow a seed of it. The seed of a fruit is even more very healthy. Very, very, very healthy. And if you throw it away or don't want to eat it, it causes issues. And then he says after he made the human being, he said in Genesis 1 verse 29 to 30, then Elohim said, I give you every seed-bearing plants on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food, or in some translations it says meat. Fruits and vegetables and so on are meat for us, not the real meat like animals. And to all the beasts of the earth and all the birds in the sky and all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food. And it was so. Are you aware, if you eat meat, vegetable, and not vegetable and raw vegetarian or raw vegan or vegan food, you cause much issues. This is the first command in the entire scripture, together with saying, multiply yourself. This is the second command. Many people don't get it, that this was the original plan for us. He has never planned for us that any human being eats meat or things which were made from animals. And the most important thing is that it is a seed-bearing thing, because without seed it's not the DNA of YAHUAH. And this fruit or vegetable without seed is a dead fruit. That is what Satan offers us. It looks like it would be okay, but the seed is missing. Alles gut. That was my dog. YAHUAH says, eat only what is seed-bearing. Nowadays there are much plants, much fruits produced in the science stores, and they harm only instead of doing something. And interesting is in Genesis 3, what does Satan use to tempt the humans to fall in sin? And they literally fell in. He offered them a fruit, and there was no seed in it. There was only sin. It was like looking like pleasant, but inside there waited death for them. That's why YAHUAH says, I laid before you life and death, blessing and curse. And in Genesis 2 verse 9 it says, the YAHUAH Elohim made all kinds of trees grow out of the ground trees that were pleasing to the eye and good for food. In the middle of the garden were the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So you can choose today what you want to eat. Many say, okay, it is good to eat meat. Well, after sin, he allowed us for a short time. We go further, but the original plan was not that we eat meat or kill animals or such things. Nowadays, it is horrible to see what they all do to animals. And interesting is that in Revelation 11:18 it says that YAHUAH is destroying those who destroy the earth. And how come it that if you kill animals, you're not destroying the creation, you are destroying what he had made. And he takes it serious. And then we go to Genesis 9, because many say to me, yay, you are allowed. But he gave to Noah a command. Then in Genesis 9, then Elohim blessed Noah and his sons, saying to them, be fruitful, increase in number, and fill the earth. The fear of and dread of you will fall on all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, every creature that moves along the ground, and all the fish in the sea. They are given into your hands. Everything that lives and moves about will be food for you. Just as I gave you the green plants, I give you everything. But you must not eat meat and that has its lifeblood still in, and your lifeblood I will surely demand an accounting. I will demand an accounting from every animal and from each human being also. I will demand an accounting for the life of another human being. Whoever sheds human blood by humans shall their blood be shed. For in the image of Elohim has Elohim made mankind. As for you, be fruitful and increase in number, multiply on the earth and increase upon it. We stop here. After the flood, nothing were growing. Nothing, absolute nothing. It dried only. The water was away, and Elohim says, okay, go out from the ark. It was the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah? And he said, for now I give you the permission to eat meat. But why? From what should he eat when there were nothing left over? Everything died. Everything was vanished from the earth. And everything had to be produced from new. That's why he permitted Noah and his descendants, you can eat meat, but after everything came back, you can eat and can now, you don't need anymore to eat animals. Makes no sense, because look how much is growing. You can choose now so much more instead of killing animals and eating them. You are not permitted to eat blood and fat. It belongs to YAHUAH, because in earlier days it was used for sacrificing unto YAHUAH as offering. We are not permitted to eat animal fat or animal blood. It is not even healthy. Blood is life, It is signing a covenant, and if you eat blood, you're signing a covenant with the devil. And meat is dead. When you kill an animal, it is dead. And you eat it, and the dead thing lays in your stomach, is rotting, and the toxic from the dead animal is in your body. And the flesh remains in stomach of a human being 7 days. And where does all the toxic stuff go? Into your body, and is toxing your entire blood and everything. There is no life in it. A human being is not. We are not made for eating flesh. If we put an flesh meat eating animal beside of an human being, a flesh eating animal has a shorter passage through the body. A human being has a long passage through the stomach, through the body. Why? Because it was only made for plant-based dietaries, not for eating flesh, meat, and things which belong to animals. The science are proving nowadays that the commandments in YAHUAH's words make sense. And still you want to break it? And he says here, YAHUAH made a covenant between Noah, between us and the animals and the creations. He says, I now establish my covenant with you, and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with you, the birds, the livestock, and all the wild animals, all those that came out of the ark with you, every living thing on earth. I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be destroyed by waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. He gave the rainbow for all creations. And homosexuality steals this sign to make us blind. The rainbow belongs to YAHUAH, not to abomination. Absolutely not. And if this sounds like hate speech, then you blame YAHUAH for hating you. No, he says homosexuality is a sin, and he doesn't permit it. And no, I don't shut my mouth only because if maybe someone is coming against it and saying, well, YAHUAH is love. Yes, he is love. He loves, but he doesn't permit anything what he has said no to it. And he says in Leviticus 18, such people must be stoned to death. Because the command is we should multiply ourselves. And how is it possible when we sleep? For example, me with a woman, or a man with a man, or doing more wicked things. We break YAHUAH's covenant. That's all not what he really wants. YAHUAH loves such people, yes. In our times, you don't get killed for in the next second for your sins, like it has been at the Mount Sinai. But don't play around with YAHUAH. He has much petitions, but one day his long suffering is ending, and his wrath is fiery. It is so much fiery. Can you imagine how much angry he is when he finds sin in you? It is an offense in his face. It is the biggest offense in his face when he finds sin in you. That's why he kicked Satan out. He can't dwell with someone who sins. And when you break the covenant already with the first pages in Genesis, you break everything. This is his original plan. But if we break it, he won't bless us. He blesses only what he commands us to do. And if we do it, he gives it. And we go for those who want to eat meat. YAHUAH gave also laws. You can choose what you want. We read Leviticus 11. YAHUAH said to Moses and Aaron, "Say to the Israelites, all animals that live on land, these are the ones you may eat. You may eat any animal that has a divided hoof and that shows the cut." Means such an animal has 3 stomachs, 3 different parts, and they eat and swallow up, vomit it up and eat it again and swallow it. And these are vegetarian animals. They don't eat meat. Every animal what eats meat is forbidden for us to eat. Remember it. He cares. He made some animals to swallow our rubbish, what we throw away. And if you eat it, you are toxing yourself. You poison yourself. And if you eat, for example, a pig, not good. Absolutely not good. The trichins, the worms, are going inside of you, and it is going in your head, and you know what these worms are doing? They eat up your brain. The most parasites coming from eating animals. When you eat animals, you get sick, very seriously sick. Eating animals causes heart disease, lung disease, blood disease, cancer, acne and such in face comes from, for example, by eating milk products, egg products, because it goes into the hormone system and is detoxing it and causes infections. Eating red meat causes that you get cancer, and it causes more problems than you can imagine. He allowed some animals if people don't get the real original plan in their lives, because we fell short of the stem of YAHUAH, so he made us some destructions, because he loves us. He wants that when we walk in the truth walk, we go deeper and deeper. Some of you want to eat meat, he gave the laws. These are the laws. And here he says, okay, if you want to eat meat, I give you some, but not all. We cannot eat all. And in the scripture, in the entire scripture, YAHUAH uses over and over and over and over again animals to teach through them, us people, his way, his love, his kindness, his intelligence. Animals have sometimes even an higher IQ than human beings. They are more intelligent like you and me. And in the book of Jubilees, in chapter 3, he says, animals have had even spoken with like we did before he closed them because of our sin. He closed the mouths of the animals that we don't hear their voices, hearable like us humans. They had the voice and the tongue like humans, but YAHUAH closed them because of our rebellion. And only few people can still hear and still understand animals. I, for example, can hear and understand animals very, very, very well. I show you something. My dog. I have much animals. For example, my dog understands me very, very well. She understands. She talks to me. I hear her. Even when you don't hear it, I hear what she is saying. That's a she. That's Kira. I have 30 dogs and much more animals. And no animal can ever disappoint you. They don't sin. They have never sinned. And I have written on my Facebook site or something regarding it, and I put it in the description and in the comments below, also on YouTube. Facebook animals never sin. Humans have sinned. Animals never sin. They don't hurt you. They don't hurt you if you treat them good. They don't hurt you. No animal has ever beaten me. No animal is raping you. No animal is hurting your heart. No animal is disappointing you. They even love you more than they love themselves. A dog loves you more than they love themselves. They give their last thing for you to rescue you if you are in danger. They are our friends. They are our friends. This was my other dog. I have much dogs. I don't cut it out now. Cause animals even make you happy. When I am sad, I take a dog and I'm happy again. You people should understand why YAHUAH made them for us. He made them as friends. And are you eating your friends? Do you call someone and say, yay, I want you as my dinner tonight? Really. But if you want to eat some, YAHUAH gives an explanation what you can eat and what not. There are some that only chew the cud or only have divided hooves, but you must not eat them. The camel, though it chews the cud, does not have a divided hoof. It is ceremonially unclean for you. It is unclean. The hyrax, though it chews the cud, does not have a divided hoof. It is unclean for you. The rabbit, though it chews the cud, does not have a divided hoof. It is unclean for you. Yeah, rabbits are unclean. And the pig, though it has divided hoofs, does not chew the cud. It is unclean for you. You must not eat their meat nor touch the carcasses. They are unclean for you. They are an abomination to you. You shall not eat them, because he made them as cleaner behind you. They clean up the earth. And if you eat what they clean up, you eat literally rubbish, and it is toxing your blood and everything. All of the creatures that's living in the water of the sea and the streams you may eat, any that have fins and scales. But all creatures in the sea, or among all the swarming things, or among all the other living creatures in the water, you are to regard as unclean. And since you are to regard them as unclean, you must not eat their meat. You must regard their carcasses as unclean. Anything living in the water that does not have fins and scales is be regarded as unclean for you. For example, garnels and such things. There are many kinds of fish, which don't have skin or don't have scale, and it's unclean for you. It is not to be eaten because most sea creatures are toxic because of metals and things we throw in the water. We make everything unclean, and when you eat it, you cause problems. You cause much problems. These are the birds you are regard as unclean, and not eat because they are unclean: the eagle, the vulture, the black vulture, the red kit, any kind of black kit, and any kind of raven, the horned owl, the scratch owl, the ghoul, any kind of hawk, the little owl, the cormorant, the great owl, the white owl, the desert owl, the osprey, the stork, any kind of heron, the hoopoe, and the bat. All flying insects that walk on fours are to be regarded as unclean. There are, however, some flying insects that walk on all fours that you may eat. The grasshoppers and such you can eat. There are however, some flying insects that walk on all fours that you may eat, those that have joint legs for hopping on the ground. Of these you may eat any kinds of locust, cricket, cicada, or grasshopper, but all other flying insects that have 4 legs you are regarded as unclean. You will make yourself unclean by this. Whoever touches the carcass will be unclean till evening. And he gave such details of what happens if some of these animals are dying or falling on some kitchen stuff. He says some of them you have even to destroy them because of health matters. He doesn't forbid anything what is not. He doesn't want to forbid us joy and happiness and such, but he wants us to be healthy, to avoid that we get sick. He cares so much about us that he says details of every meanings in the life to say, please don't do that. That's not good for you. We don't have to understand why he always sometimes forbids some things, but he cares so much. He's a detail loving YAHUAH. He's the one who gives details of the means of life. Then we go to, and Genesis 3 1 verse 24, it says, "Has YAHUAH said, you shall not eat anything of this?" He allows us some stuff to eat, but not everything, because he wants to keep us safe. You can choose life or death, blessing or curse. You choose what you want. You choose if I want life in this, or death, cause you eat animals, or the forbidden ones. Now we read also Acts 10. I will explain you Acts 10, cause it is not about animals. It is about people, cause in the Jewish tradition, in the Hebrew mindset, were pagans, dogs, unclean animals. They were set like animals, like trash. And YAHUAH ended this kind of thinking. He said, "Don't call what I have renewed." He renewed some stuff, cause the Gentiles, the pagans, the word goim means not literally only pagan, but that's the 10 lost, scattered tribes of Israel. And many thought they are pagans and they are unclean. And YAHUAH said, "No, I died even for them. I want to engraft them in my covenant. And you are not to be called, you are not allowed to call anyone whom I have made as human being as unclean." That's the meaning behind it. And I read Isaiah 11, because many are not aware that YAHUAH even promised to animals the end of getting treated like shit. Really, nowadays, do you really know the real way how they produce milk, how they make meat for you to eat them, to kill them? Do you know that some animals don't have even such size of place where they are kept? Do you want to be in this kind of place and suffer so much pains? Do you know that for milk, for example, they impregnate through artificial ways the cows to produce milk, and take the calves away so that we can drink and eat milk? Do you know that milk was originally made for the newborn ones? How long do you drink your mother's milk? When you're grown up, you end it. But why do you take milk from animals away, which the cows would need? You don't need milk anymore. The calcium, what you may think of to get, you can get it through green vegetables, green herbs. Or apricots. You don't need milk. Absolutely not. It is even causing that you lose calcium out of your body. It is completely false. You get more issues when you drink milk. And Canada has removed milk, even for their folk to eat it. It is forbidden there to eat it. The same with eggs. Do you know how eggs are produced? Have you been ever where those animals are kept? I have been there. I have pictures of that. I tell you, it is breaking my heart. I love animals so much, but when I see that, it is for me not even impossible to go in a supermarket where I see dead bodies from animals. I run out. I cannot see it. Because I know how they get treated. Have you ever seen the flood of all this blood of killing animals for you to eat? And YAHUAH said in his 10 commandments, you shall not murder or you shall not kill. And here he doesn't say, but you can eat animals. He did it after he gave in the Mount Sinai originally only manna. And after our ancestors rebelled against YAHUAH, he said, well, I bring you meat. But because of the rebellion, do you know that some of these people, he literally killed them for asking for meat? Because it is an offense in his face. Because he made animals. He cares for them. And when you read, for example, the book of Proverbs, you see on many pages, many chapters, that he uses even animals to explain us the meanings behind of them. He says, for example, go, you fool, to the ant and learn from her. Lazy man, lazy person, go to the ant and learn from her. He said, learn from her. And now people are saying animals are by no means more intelligent like we. They are more intelligent like we are. Indeed, they know more how to be like a human than we literally do know it. They love each other. They only kill sick animals so that they don't need anymore to suffer. But they don't kill healthy ones. And if you walk in their territory, they feel like you would step in their living room. Do you go to your neighbor and step in their living room and then wonder that they slap you and throw you out and kick you? That's the same. They want to have a place to live in there. And YAHUAH thought that we should share this place with our friends, the animals. Do you know that the animals they're made on 2 days? 2 days. He needed 2 days. And on 1 day he made animals too, but also the human being. And now you say dinosaurs and such things have never existed? They always have existed. Read in book of YAHUAH. There are mentioned dinosaurs or sea creatures. Unicorns are mentioned in the scripture. Dragons are mentioned in the scriptures. There are much things which were in the world, but humans have killed much animals. Many sorts of animals aren't living anymore. They are on the dead list because humans were busy to make their places bigger and bigger and bigger. I can't live in cities. I don't live in a city, I live in a village. even there I live outside of the village, at the end of the village, don't be under too much people. I don't know. And I tell you, the nature is what catches me, makes me happy. I don't have even a clock in my house, only that one which is on my laptop, cause I want to live with nature, not by this stress nowadays. There is so much stress nowadays, and many ask themselves why is that? Cause we don't know how to live anymore in peace with the nature after our biological clock inside. We don't listen to the body, don't listen to anything, and then we wonder that our body gets sick, or we get sick mentally, emotionally, physically, psychically. And do you know, people ask me why I am looking younger than I am. Do you know that raw vegan nutrition causes that you can detox your body and everything? You can do much more with your body when you use the nature. The nature has for everything a solution to solve issues and to avoid issues. In Daniel 1:21, you know, Daniel was a vegan. He didn't eat what the king offered them on his plate. He ate vegetable and water and fruits, nothing more. And what happened? They had more wisdom and more knowledge than all the other ones who ate from the unclean plates. And I read from Isaiah 11. Verse 6. The wolf will lie with the lamb, the leopard will lie down with the goat, the calf and the lion and the yearling together, and a little child will lead them. The cow will feed with the bear, the young will lie down together, and the lion will eat straw like the ox. The infant will play near the cobra's den, and the young child will put its hands into the viper's nest. They will neither harm nor destroy on all my holy mountain, for the earth will be filled with knowledge of YAHUAH as the waters cover the sea. Stop violating animals. Stop the violence against animals. Do they truly deserve our behavior? Have they sinned against YAHUAH? No, they didn't. We did. Read Romans 8. The entire creation is crying out for YAHUAH to save them. On account of us, cause of us, they are weeping. When a storm comes, when volcanoes erupt, when earthquakes and storms and tsunamis and such things happens, ask yourself why. Because we are violating against YAHUAH and we treat his creation so badly. We are stealing what is belonging to the treasure rooms of YAHUAH. And if the nature is fighting back, then how can you dare to blame YAHUAH for doing it, or for letting this happen, to wake us people up? He used even a donkey to Biliam to talk in human voice, to rebuke him. And now we say, wow, animals can't do anything, they are stupid and such, and that we have the rulership over them. No. YAHUAH gave in his original plan that we care for them as our friends, and they care for us because we are their friends. But if you hurt animals, I don't see in all this YAHUAH working through you. Absolutely not. When you have a piece of meat on your fork, I don't know. It makes me sad. It tastes after death. And YAHUAH wanted us to give life. He wanted that we taste life, not death. Death is reminding me of sin. Death is a reward when we sin. But what have animals done to YAHUAH? Have they done something against him? Have they done something against us? Have they offended us? Have they spoken badly about us? Have they mistreated us? Have they beaten us? Have they killed? Well, they fight back because they are maybe afraid of us. I don't know. But animals don't do what humans do. And we go further in the scriptures. Isaiah 66 verse 17. Those who consecrate and purify themselves to go into the gardens, following one who is among those who eat the flesh of pigs, rats, and other unclean things, they will meet their end together with the one they follow, declares YAHUAH. He will destroy us if we eat unclean things. And I guess he would also seek the sins if we don't respect what he had made. He made animals for us. In Isaiah 56, he says, a people who continually provoke me into my face, offering sacrifices in gardens and burning incense on an altar of bricks, who sits among the graves and spend their nights keeping secret vigils, who eat the flesh of pigs, and who pots hold broth of impure meat, who say, keep away, don't come near me, for I am too scared for you. Such people are smoke in my nostrils, a fire that keeps burning all days. And he says, if such people do it, he will destroy them. He will destroy such people who grieve YAHUAH's spirit. He wants to give us life, but he cannot give us life if we break His commandments, and for me, for my understanding, the commandments start all with Genesis 1. Genesis 1, the Torah means not only law, it means instructions. And in a book of in the collection Torah belongs Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. These 5 books, they belong together. And now you say such things. For me, for my understanding, we are not permitted to eat animals. We are to eat fruits, plants, nuts, seeds, mushrooms, and such things, but not animals, nor what they produce. It belongs to the animals. Honey, for example, belongs to the bees. Milk belongs to the cows, goat, whatever. Eggs are small chickens, but how can they come when we eat eggs? Fish and such. I don't need it. I don't even miss it. YAHUAH hasn't made them for us to eat them. He wants in Psalms 104 and 103, it says he plays with the animals. He made them for his joy. They are his joy. And we destroy what is making him happy. And one thing, many ask, why is it not permitted to eat milk and meat together? Because it's toxic. It is so toxic. It causes cancer. When you eat meat and milk, it produces nitrates, and nitrates is toxic, highly toxic. He has reasons why we should not eat it together. Even heated milk is toxic. And I think we should stop breaking his commandments and what he hasn't permitted in origin. It hasn't been meant for us. Animals are his joy. They are beautiful, they are so lovely, and you look into the eyes of an animal. Can you kill it? I can't. And now you pay money that others can do it. I want to know that my money doesn't hurt anyone. No animal, no human being. And I care for what he has made. That's my answer on your questions. And I say, let's go, Robert John. Stop killing animals. 'Cause animals like this are loved like you and me. YAHUAH took time to create them. Beautiful. So cute. Can you look in such eye and say, you ugly? When you love pets and keep pets, what is it different to a pig? What is it different to something else? They are all the same. They are all animals. No one is lesser loved. They're all precious in his eyes. And I say, stop hurting animals. Stop it. That's my answer on your questions. Animals are not made to eat. They are made to love and to be cared for. They want to live, and they deserve to live. They deserve to be cared for. They deserve to get hugged, to get love. Love, not hatred. YAHUAH bless you and keep you. YAHUAH let his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. YAHUAH lift his countenance and give you peace. Shalom. Have a great day. Be blessed.